Welcome, strippers, to your favorite podcast, Our Naked Truth. It is your girl, Nicoya, aka Naomi.
And Lola.
Ooh, we just get Lola today, so baby. Y'all know when Lola show up. Ain't no telling what Lola gonna be sharing.
Lola has some things to say. Or things to share.
Make sure you say it with your chest.
And with that voice.
With your chest.
Where'd that deep voice come from?
I know, I just when people
you
like
scared me. I was like,
did you shock?
where did that come from?
Like, make sure you say it with your chest. For some reason, like when I read that, say, "Oh, they say it with your chest." I'm like, I hear deepness, like chest. I don't know. That's my whole thing. It's like the immediate thought.
It made me kind of
like, okay, is this Nicoya? We got a trainee over here. Oh,
is that what Naomi talks like?
Naomi in the building.
Yeah. So holidays. Can you believe holidays are almost?
Christmas.
Christmas.
I have not bought not one Christmas item, but this is me every year.
Yeah.
I'm not of those people that go Christmas, but I'm not even a fan. You know me.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, I wouldn't even be celebrating any holidays. It's just all about the family congregating together and eating food.
Yeah.
I don't go all out for Christmas, going Christmas shopping, putting myself in debt and scrambling. I've never ever done Black Friday a day in my life. I just don't do what other people do.
I used to do Black Friday when Ethan was young, but not anymore.
I've never
There's
in
no
my life.
reason for to do
I'm
it.
like, I can't. You already know that I kind of get anxiety being around a lot of people, and so it's just like that never even crossed my mind. And then it's cold, and you mean to tell me I gotta wait in line outside in the cold
and you don't
for
deal
hours?
with the cold.
I don't deal with the cold. I don't deal with lines, and I don't deal with big crowds. So it never made sense to me. I'm like, the money that is being saved is not worth it for me.
Yeah, I know my mom called and she's like, because they're coming into town, and she's like, "Did you put your Christmas decorations up yet?" I was like, "No." Rebecca! I'm like, I have no time for that. I haven't put, she's like, "You wake up early in the morning." I was like, "Yes, doing other things that's going to make me money. Not put my Christmas decorations
And your
up."
child is gone and grown,
yeah.
so it's like not that, not a big deal
and that's
anymore.
only why I put it up, because he likes the Christmas look and everything.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, "We're going to be over there." It's like, I know.
We're gonna be over here. I need to see decoration.
And she's like, "I want to feel jolly." She goes, don't be a grump like, what's that green character?
Grinch.
The Grinch. Don't be the Grinch like her dad.
What's the green character?
And I'm like, I'm not. I just haven't had time. I was like, I may put my tree up though. She's like, "But that's good." I go, "But just the tree. No decorations."
I don't even know if I'm gonna do a tree.
Like, it has lights.
I guess so.
So it has lights. And she's like, "Rebecca, all those decorations." Yeah, I was like, I don't want to do it. It's like, I can do something better with my time than to sit there and 3 hours and put decorations up on my tree. I was like, "Look, I'll put the main stuff out, Mom, okay?" So when they're coming in, that's on my list of things to do before they come over, is find time to put decorations up, which it may be at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And put something else aside to put some gold trees up somewhere in my house. And so I'm getting ready for that. And then I'm cooking.
Yeah.
I'm cooking. And then you know how long that takes.
Yeah.
We're both cooking. I enjoy it, but it just takes a little time.
Yeah. Well, you know me, I cook to eat, not because I enjoy it. I'm like, yeah. I don't know. It's like after having a man that cooked for me all the time, that just made me worse. I'm like, literally, I was so spoiled still from that. It's just like, it's the best feeling ever.
Yeah,
lay back on the couch. I don't even have to go in the kitchen. He's whipping it up. He have a drink ready for me while he's whipping it up. So I'm winding down, feet kicked up, the best feeling. And the food be delicious. I'm like, I don't never want to cook again.
I think that's what sometimes I don't eat, is because he doesn't cook for me, because he's been busy with work.
With you too.
And I'm like, "Are we not eating?" He's like, "Well, there's food." I'm like, "But are we not eating?"
Yeah.
There's no food.
That was the other thing. He would always cook still, no matter, like, come straight in. If he worked later than me and still cook. Like, it'd be 9 o'clock when he make it through the door and cook. And I would want to cook for him. I would be like, do you think I can't cook, or do you not like my cooking? Or maybe it's just a vegan thing and just don't want me to cook meat stuff since I eat vegan. And so I don't know, but I appreciate it, child. So now it's like
it's
even worse
for the holidays.
Yes, I'm like, I gotta cook, and then I'm child.
Yeah. Now he's like, you chicken, eat chicken. It's like, I don't want to eat chicken.
I don't want to eat chicken. But I'm going to because I have no choice. That's how I feel when I go to Texarkana. Like, it is the worst thing when, you don't eat meat, but then there's no shit in Texarkana that's vegan. I have to go to the grocery store every single time, and I'm visiting. I don't have time to be cooking in the kitchen like I'm at home because I'm visiting. I'm moving around a lot. I'm visiting, and then before you know it, you're eating a piece of chicken.
Yeah.
And then so I'm like, well, what the fuck else am I supposed to be eating right now? Because even the vegetables got meat in it, meat broth or something.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
don't judge me, damn it. I have no choice. You want me to serve? You're already calling me skinny.
So do you want me to judge you for eating an animal? Do you want me to judge you for the stuff that you're putting in your body? No, I keep quiet. I keep quiet.
Shush it. Shush it.
Yeah, but no. So but you're busy. I miss being getting together more often.
We don't see. We're both getting so busy.
But it's okay.
Gonna change. It is. It's okay, but it's like we have been neglecting each other a little bit. Yeah. Haven't been having our girl time, but it's coming. It's coming. We all go through our season of busyness.
It's like even though we don't hook up as much, it's because I'm doing better, and for you, you're doing better. Yeah. So when we do better, our talks are going to be different.
Yeah.
They're not going to be as of
the talk and the energy will be different.
Yeah. So it's okay. It's always good to take a little, not take it because you're doing it intentionally, but gotta take some time.
Yes, girlfriend. Well, today's topic is going to be a little thick of tension around here. We're gonna talk about colorism, and we both can relate. That's the thing that I love about our show, our unity, is the different cultures, the different aspects. We're both ethnic, but you got your Hispanic background. I have my black background, but it's still relatable, but still different challenges within it. You know, and colorism is something that both of us deal with, ironically, the same. You're the dark one, I'm the dark one. I'm like, how the fuck are you the dark one? But, you know, within your culture, I remember when I first met you, that was one of the things that you talked, your ass ran from the sun. You still kind of do, but I think I'm like, no, I've like said it in your head. Like, we'll be walking from here, and you're like, this is why I need an umbrella.
I always have an umbrella with me, and I'm like, I need my umbrella. Like, we went to the park. And you're like, we're going to sit out the park. It's not Easter. It's like, I need my umbrella. You're like, no. I'm like, yes, the sun is out.
Vitamin D.
The sun is out.
And that's why a lot of black people are vitamin D deficient because of colorism. It is the light, and I think it goes all the way back to slavery because the light skins, they were half breeds, so they was the in-house slaves. They got treated differently. You was still a slave, but you was made to look more valuable and more. You got treated different. You was able to be in the house, dress a little different instead of being out in the field with the blackies, the black people. And so it's all of that Jim Crow from my culture stems all the way back to slavery. I don't think it was like that before slavery, but then with me being a black American, I don't know. I'm learning my history prior because being a black American, our history started as a slave. Yeah. That's all we heard. It's like, what were we doing before then? You know, like, was it like this? But we're still having to unlearn and change our way of thinking from years ago.
It is, because I didn't even realize what how they use colorism. And when people were speaking, it was more of
within your culture.
Yes, it was more of thinking, okay, well, culture shaming within your own community.
People. Yeah.
And it's like you hear other people, other races talking about, well, you know, they don't appreciate black, they don't Asian hate, like Mexican hate. But I'm like, no, there's still hate within the same community, within your own people. And it's annoying, but what can you do about it other than you be your own change? But whenever it happened to me, and through since being little, and then when, you know, people who don't know you, they can make a comment about something, and you're like, wait, you don't know me, you don't know the shit I've gone through, you don't know the stuff that I've heard. Then that's when it happened. But when I heard that term colorism, that's when I'm like, I'm gonna look exactly what this means. If I don't know, even if it's a simple word and I still know what it means, I'm gonna look it up so I can have an understanding. So I don't want to use the wrong terminology if I'm speaking to somebody and they're like, you don't know what it means, and I'm like, yeah, I do. Now I looked it up.
I know my shit, bitch.
I looked it up,
and understand.
It started all the way from elementary school, and that's because I went to an elementary school that was majority dominant of Mexicans, because we lived in the Mexican community. And then junior high, but in high school it changed with, I went to a more school that was a huge percentage of white, of Caucasian, rather than, and the little spicks of us Spanish and, you know, blacks within the community in the school. But from being little, I never understood some of the terms that people would throw at me. It was like, you know, you are a wetback, you swim the rivers, you look how you bake in the sun, you're dark, and look, you're almost as dark as, you know, the black kid sitting next to me. And I'm like I didn't even know that there was a whole difference. But then
until it was brought to you, like,
till it was brought up, and you're like, what are they talking about? Then I would go home and ask Mom, what does wetback mean? She's like, where'd you learn that word from? I'm like, the kid says that I'm a wetback. And she's like, you're not a wetback. I'm like, well, what is a wetback? She goes, a wetback is a term that they use for people who are not from here. That, you know, people come from other countries. They said they swim in the lakes to get to states. And I'm like, but still, when they told me that then, I didn't understand it until I got older. And then so I'm like, that's just rude.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there are illegal immigrants coming over here, but that's just rude. There's people that come from the boats. And, you know, they use that term for Asian. They come from the boats. And, you know, they're the boat people. They're the boat people. We're wetbacks. I'm a beaner. I didn't even know what the freak a beaner.
Yeah,
you know,
I didn't know what that was until you mentioned it.
Yeah, but then in the community, even within our own community, Hispanics joke around with each other and call each other beaners. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess people can play around with each other. But then when you're old,
right, I guess we could play like
that. But then when you have a family member that's darker than you and that tells you you're dark and you're
like, it's their own insecurities that they're deflecting on you, and the same thing that they heard growing up.
And it stuck with me till then. Till now. I'm getting better because I did go into the sun. And when I text you, he's like, yeah, I woke up, got some vitamin D, but then I ran back to my car.
I was like, it was not even, I was like, you're going to need, you know, it's because you know that's skin cancer. And I was like, girl, you have to be in the sun a lot longer than that. Consistently.
Yeah. But that is, so it still sticks with you. Even culture shame. So I was in culture, like, I can go on and on with it. On not speaking Spanish. Yes, I do not speak Spanish, okay? God damn it. Shit. I understand it.
I've seen how it's been, because for some reason I've been a part of the Hispanic community a lot. I just remember, I was like, I swear to God, I think in the past life I was some type of Latina or something. Because I act like a Blaxican, like, from the music to what I was around and what I was doing and everything. So I definitely understand and get what you're saying, because I have seen it, how people have judged you and laughed and criticized. Well, not you specifically, but just like Hispanics that don't speak Spanish. But it's like, I'm an American, you know, like it just wasn't instilled. And that's just like, even, I don't know my native language, but just like even some Africans or whatever, they start getting stripped away. They change their name, no longer from the native name to an American name. And then as the culture of language is starting to go away, if they have kids that's here, are they learning their language growing up? No, because they're speaking English, because you got to work. Yeah. You got to go handle business here. So I can see how they'll try to kick you down for that.
And like, even trying to explain to people, why don't you speak Spanish? Like, I never forget this. When I worked somewhere, and this girl came up to her and her mom, they were regulars at that store, and they came in and I was helping them. I can understand. I understand Spanish. Like, don't talk shit about me, because I get it.
Yeah, you can cover.
You'll give me some. You get Spanglish from me on cuss words. I got that handled.
We always learn cuss words in Spanish.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like the first thing. And when she asked me, you know, why don't she? Are you Mexican? And I told her, it's like, yeah. She's like, well, then why don't you speak Spanish? And she's like, you should be ashamed of yourself for not speaking Spanish. And I'm like, are you really putting this on me right now? Like, I can be petty and say, why are you speaking English when you're here in America? But I'm not being petty like that. Right. So, like, why are you going to point out? You don't know the story. You know, and I feel like I always have to explain myself. Like, my grandparents did not speak English. So, in order for them to learn English, we had to speak English to them while they spoke Spanish to us. Mm-hmm. So we understand Spanish, and our parents use Spanish as a secret code, but we learned Spanish because of their secret talks. Now we know what they're saying. They didn't think that way through because we know what they're saying. We just couldn't speak it fully. Now, can I speak? So I can speak some of it if I need to, but I do get caught in my tracks where I'm like, fuck, I don't know what that word, how to use that word. Like, even some of my, one of my cousins, he likes to shit on me with it, and I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? You don't even fucking speak Spanish. You know just as much Spanish as I know. So why are you gonna call me out?
How are you gonna shit on you about something he's in the same boat?
Exactly. Just because you probably know 3 more words than I do, don't mean that you can say you speak Spanish fluently. But when people come and say that, like, oh, like, fuck you, now I'm not the right color. I can't speak the language. I'm born here in America. We didn't have all that around us like it was if we had our family in Mexico that can speak it, then we will speak the language. But, like, why are you going to come out on me like that? Even my son, I made sure my son was going to class for Spanish. I helped him with his homework. My mom helped him with his homework. So we learned together on Spanish on that. So he knows Spanish. He knows Chinese. He knows Indonesian. But it's still not even enough with my son. Having a mixed racial kid, golly, we can go on. Mixed... Let me take a drink of my water.
It's
a
water.
Good thing it's not liquor.
Like if we need soju, the one that looks like water but isn't water. Let me take a drink of my water.
Take my water. It's mine.
Like with frustration, like, damn it, it's water. It really is water. It is very frustrating. It is very frustrating. I can only imagine the challenges with having a biracial child, to where they're getting colorism from both sides of it, you know.
They are. He's not accepted from the Hispanic side, and he's not accepted from the Asian side. The side that accept him is the Caucasians and the blacks. That's who accepts him.
Yeah,
that's what crazy. He's like, his best friend is black, and they're like brothers.
Yeah. Like,
you cannot, even though they don't go to school in the same city or same state, when he comes back into school, Cam's the first person he calls. And Cam's at the first time. Cam's at my house, sitting in the living room, driving home, and he's in the living room. He's like, man, Ethan, and act like if nothing ever stopped. And those are the guys who accepted it. Now he's in the fraternity that he's trying to change that He's bringing diversity into the fraternity. He's brought more Asians in. He's brought more blacks in. He's brought more Hispanics in. It was more of Caucasians in this fraternity. They don't have a problem with it. They're like, no, we want that. That's why we have you so you can help it. He has littles. They're called little brothers, and he has one of them. He's from Plano. And he's a black guy, and then he has an Asian kid, and then he has a Hispanic kid. All of his littles are different races.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna bring difference, Mom, because if I couldn't be accepted, I'm gonna make sure other people feel accepted. Mm-hmm. So having a mixed racial kid in that aspect it's hard.
Yeah. Most definitely. I'm glad that he is fighting the odds, though, and bringing diversity, like using it to his advantage instead of being discouraged and kicked down. He's showing up more, which is totally Ethan.
Yeah,
he's gonna do that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I feel like even with, like, you know, I have gotten so frustrated, and I still do. It's like, well, I'm not gonna I don't get as frustrated. Just be thankful through my healing and my growth. But as you know me, since the day that you met me, I've always had a business. I was always working on a business. My whole thing is about entrepreneurship, and I would go over and beyond to promote myself, market myself, use social media, and you'll see that I'm gifted. You want to be in my face and tell me that to keep doing this, I'm good at this, but don't even support. Then it'll be a light-skinned person, even just in my personal life, you know, and then my mom being light-skinned, but everybody, and I'm dark. I'm the darker one of all my siblings. Everybody else is lighter. And I just look at how things are being more receptive, even with a friendship. I had a friend, we was friends since 6th grade. Yes, she was pretty, but she was light-skinned too. And I just felt like they gave her more leverage. And I had spoke to her about it. I'm like, you literally don't do shit. You make one post on social media and you get 1,000, you get shares, you get hundreds of likes, and people just gassing you up comments. And then me, I barely get a like. I barely get a share. I barely get any support in my business. You don't feel as attractive. Because the black guys want the light-skinned girl with the pretty curly hair, like just light skin. Like it's so many videos that have surfaced of guys want a light-skinned girl. They don't want anybody that's a dark skin. The dark skinned girl is automatically labeled as someone with an attitude, someone that is overbearing, cocky, headstrong. The light skinned girls, I have to do everything. Like I have to be a hard worker. I have to cook and I have to clean. It's like I have to overcompensate for the color of my skin. But a light skinned girl doesn't have to cook. They can be sorry. Like I see it over and over and over. I'm not gonna say the relationship, but it's like she don't cook. She don't clean. She don't even do anything with her child one-on-one, but you got the best husband. They cater to you. Your life has changed. And you literally don't bring shit to the table. Not even your ass, because you don't even really have sex with your husband. But that you're considered the trophy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what I noticed that is hurtful, black men, they want a strong black woman, the dark-skinned sister. It's good to have while you're struggling and you're trying to figure out how to excel in life and to become successful. And the moment you do, now we're not good enough for you. Now you got to get the trophy. You got to get the exotic girl, the mixed chick, the one that's light-skinned to enjoy the fruits of the labor that we put in with you while you was fucking suffering and struggling. So it's another thing that's just like kick you down to make you feel like you're not valuable. You're not worthy to be put on display or to show affection or love to, or to enjoy the good things in life. Like I feel like as a dark-skinned girl, we're really the ones that's made to look like we gotta be strong. And the light-skinned girls get to be pampered. They're the ones that are valuable enough to be pampered and enjoy the goodness in life. But a strong black woman, like when I hear black woman, no offense, I think of a dark-skinned sister that has to be the strong one, because we are the ones that's being, like, we have to go against the odds times 10. If we want to put our business out there, we're trying to do something that you can literally go and look at the statistics. The numbers is not mathing. The light-skinned person is going to get more support than the dark-skinned person. I see it from influencers. Yes, you got dark-skinned influencers that have made it, but even with like TV shows, you have a cast of light skin and dark skin, but this one got 1 million followers and the other one is still in the 100,000s. Why? The personality is more spunkier. They're more attractive. Just like even with Martin, Gina was automatically the pretty girl because she was the light skin. She was the one that had a man. Pam was dark skin. The loud one fighting. The one who Martin stayed joning on, calling her animals, this and this and that. When Pam was finer than Gina, her skin was pretty. Her body was in shape, pretty white smile. She was beautiful, but Gina was made out to look, her shape wasn't even right. Gina kind of boxy to me. She had a booty, but no hips. Pam had it all. Boobies, hips, but she was made out to look like the problematic one. Like that is what's on display all the time still. In entertainment and on social media, it's like so profound, the colorism, and it's hurtful.
Yeah. It is. It's like when I told you, I didn't realize how light I was until I'm like, man, I'm bright. Nicole, you're like, girl, you are. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I always thought it was the dark one. But even, could you speak more of it within relationship-wise, how men, I never guess I paid attention to it, how of Hispanic people, Hispanic men, Mexican men look at the Hispanic women of their skin color, because I see with all different ones. I just thought more with an outside of the race. Now I have heard some races say, "Oh, that's a dark Mexican. I can't be with the dark Mexican." I'm like, a dark Mexican? What does a dark Mexican have to do with just being Mexican? Like,
right.
And I don't think some people are just not knowledgeable where different skin colors come from within the Latino
We're
community.
all a melting pot, period.
Yeah. Like a lot of Guatemalans are darker skinned. They speak Spanish. And, people are, they're Mexican. No, they're Guatemalan. They're just in the community. Colombian, they look white. You have people in Mexico City that look like that. Blue eyes, blonde hair. But it's still, I think it's not being educated enough on not knowing that there's just a rainbow of color, guys. There's a rainbow of browns. Put a brown rainbow with all the different colors of rainbows. We're just a rainbow.
Yeah.
But we get shamed
black community.
Just
same within the black community. I mean, we even have albinos that has barely any pigmentation. It's just like that is everywhere because we're all a mixture of something, especially today. I got a lot of shit in me. I just talk about black, but you can look at my immediately mother and be like, nah, what else you got up in your eyes? My eyes are a little chinky. But it's like, why? It shouldn't matter. And it's, so hurtful. That has played a lot in my dating life as to why I'm been single for majority of my life because of that insecurity that was brought on to me and having a light-skinned best friend and just always had a boyfriend, always had somebody show up, always, and me, it was just like I was shined back. Like even watching this video podcast with Kelly Rowland, this guy tried to say that she was second fiddle to Beyonce. Beyonce is this big bright light, and you have been content with just being in the shadow. She's like, no, just because my skin is darker, or we both have a light, we both shine together. I do what I do, and she do what she do. Her shine doesn't dim my light, and even Beyonce's dad was like, Beyonce wouldn't have the level of success she have if she wasn't light skinned. She is talented, and it made her go hard. I'm not discrediting Beyonce's work. So Beehive, don't be fucking coming after me. But she also got ahead. There's so many people who are way more vocalist than she is. Like this Normani. The very first time I saw her perform, I was like, whoa, she is performing on Beyonce's level. She can sing and dance without getting tired. She has good vocals. She's a pretty girl. Like, her talent is the exact same as Beyonce. Why is Chloe in the limelight and blowing up? Chloe Bailey, Beyonce's protege. Why is she blowing up more than Normani when her talent is on Beyonce's level? Dark skin. That's that colorism. She's put in the back. Oh, she's not cute enough. You're not trophy enough. Yeah. But she literally has the gift. I will never forget the first time. I'm like, this girl did a backflip on her neck and rolled and didn't miss a beat on her vocals. Yeah. Why is she not on this level?
And she's awesome.
Without even just sexualizing herself so much either, like Chloe is doing. It's just like it's so frustrating, and the black man got it so bad. I love my black men, but damn it.
Yeah. It is. The reason I brought it up to you about it because it's just I didn't realize. Well, I did realize it, but I guess I didn't. It wanted to accept that it was so bad within everyone own. Everyone goes through it within their own community. Everyone goes through it. Even just being married to someone who's not in my culture, a different race.
Because even with that culture, they do the same thing. The paler the skin, the better. That's a symbolism of wealth. I mean, he wasn't a working person. So it's like a stature of class. So then you get with a man who comes from the stature of having nannies and all of this other type of stuff that he had. Well, you don't have that he had, and then boom, it's the complete opposite in a different culture. So I can definitely see how even though you married, you still be faced with them challenges
within the marriage and within the community, the culture, the other people. I'll never forget when he and I got together. It was back in my hometown. He came to visit, and we were in the mall, and we were walking, and he was holding my hand. And this Hispanic guy walked by. It's just a kid. He's probably about around my age, about that time. And then he said it real loud. He goes, shame not even with your own people. And I knew he was talking because there's no one else around us. And my husband at that point, my boyfriend, was like, he goes, what did he say? And Finn is not the type that stays quiet. He has a big mouth. Like, he's ready to fight no matter what anybody. And I'm like, stop, calm down. We're not fighting.
Stop.
We're not trying to do that. And we got hit like that. We go to a grocery store. When I moved with him to Arizona, we were at a grocery store, and this Hispanic girl was talking shit. Our kid was a baby. He was sitting in the basket, and she said it in Spanish. She goes, "Wow, look at her. She's with a different race, and they bring a mixed child baby in here. How shameful is she?" And I turned around and I told her, "It's like, I know what you're saying," and I told her what a little Spanish what I knew how to translate, talk to her out. And she looked at me and she's like, no, I wasn't talking about you. No, it's okay. And I was like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. You know? So we got it from that community. We got it from my own community. That was that I was shamed. I've had people who were friends with me that would say the same thing. Wow, you're shameful. People, when I put pictures, and now that's why a lot of reasons I don't post, because I posted a picture a long time ago of me and Fendi, and comments. Wow, shame. You're Mexican and he's Asian. Your men are not good enough for you? Your men, you want to mix bloods? And you know, I'm like, wow. So I can even be with somebody that I love. And then when we got a kid, nobody. And this is the sad part. Whenever we knew we were pregnant with him, we both brought it up. Like, how are we gonna handle when other people are mean to him because he having a mixed race? Is this the right thing to bring a kid into this world? Should we bring him into this world?
Yeah.
But it was already too late because I got.
Yeah, you found out like a month before you had him. Ain't that some crazy shit? She had a baby a month later.
After I found out I was pregnant.
It's a miracle, Will. That's a whole other thing. I can't wait to talk about that on another episode.
So it's even that doctor, after we found out we're pregnant.
Oh, that went on with that.
She asked the same thing. How do your parents feel if you are to bring a child in this world? I'm like, what do you mean? Am I pregnant? Oh, no. I'm like, so what do you mean? She goes, we are both mixed races. He's Asian. You're Mexican. How your parents feel about you bringing a child into this world that's not full-blooded? And I'm like, wait, this is shit. We're still dealing with this shit?
Still.
And then knowing that we were going to keep him, we're like, man, that's something that was in our mind. And we shouldn't have to have that on our mind of how we're going to raise a mixed race kid in this world. Yeah. But it was something.
I don't know if you remember, because I was not attracting black men. Mm-hmm. Remember? It was everybody that I ended up talking to was not black all of a sudden. And it was so weird to me because even within my own family, this other part of colorism, if you don't talk a certain way, you ain't talking hood enough, you don't carry yourself, I get called a white girl. Mm-hmm. My grandfather, I didn't know you had white people in the house. And it's me. He calls me a white girl. My family, like, if I say I'm dating somebody, is he white? And I'm like, why would you ask me that? I have never, ever been in a relationship or even dated a guy outside of my race. Like, never. Why are y'all? Well, because I talk a little different. I think I talk a pretty hood and country. Maybe it's more country than hood.
Our country comes out when we're together.
So it's just like, I just even getting that within my own family, saying that I act white, I'm not black enough, but then I am black, I'm too black, but then not black enough, I'm too dark to be with, but then I'm not black enough, and then if I date outside of my culture, I'm so in love with being a black person. I look Afrocentric to me. I display, black love, black power, and so I was going through that struggle when I was not attracting black men, just only attracting other men outside of my race. Was I betraying my people? Was I betraying black love? And I was hanging with a lot of guys, both of us. We mostly have guy friends. Never really, this is probably the most female friends I've had in my life. But it's just like, damn, I hate when that happened. I go blank for a second. But no, when I was tracking other ethnicities and I would tell guys, I don't attract black men. Oh, you're lying. I'm like, no. What y'all will do is give me a compliment. But you never ask for my number. You never take it any further or want to take me out. It's been moments where I was hanging with a girl she wasn't even just that much lighter than me. Probably like peanut butter, caramel complexion. Well, I'm standing at the bar. Been standing at the bar. This guy was standing beside me the whole time. I'm just waiting to get my drink. She walks up. As soon as she walks up, he offered to buy her a drink. I'm saying nothing. This is a conversation between the two of them. And so because I'm her girlfriend, she's like, oh, will you give her one too? No, I said I was buying you a drink. I'm not buying her a drink. Like, it was just so rude and dismissive to me. And I was like, I was already here getting my own drink. I didn't need you to buy me a drink. But that was hurtful. I'm like, God damn. Like, they would be so rude to me, especially before I cut the hair. Now it's a kind of different attraction now that I've cut my hair, ironically. But it's like I would be treated so wrong and be overlooked and rude. And then when I tell guys I don't attract black men, I'm a liar. But it's one thing to want to fuck me and one thing to want to respect me and be with me. That is not the type of attraction I want want to do. I don't want to be fucked. Y'all fuck anybody. But as far as like showing true intentions and wanting to do good into my life, I did not get that. And I still sometimes struggle. Like when you go out, you don't see black men really in my face. You see other ethnicities talking to me. And it's so hurtful to love a black man so much you want to pour into them, but I don't feel like they pour into me at all. And so it's like, I don't want to betray my race. But damn, y'all not even giving me the opportunity. And I also can see that with black men as well that act the same, that's considered the white guy, and he end up being with a white girl. And then a black woman be like, oh, you betraying your people you're choosing. But then you don't even give this man a chance because he's not hood enough. He's not street enough. He don't, like... Yeah. And that's another part of the colorism in the black community. You gotta be hood and street and ghetto to be black. Like that is bullshit. That's a part of that Jim Crow. You dumbing down your race. Like, no, black people are not good. That's not a part of our culture. Yeah. Being dumb, ghetto, and hood and street. That's a part of the system. Like that's the conditions we put in. That's not your culture.
One thing I hate hearing is when I hear men say, oh, she's a Latina, you better watch it.
She crazy.
She's spicy.
Muy loco.
She's loud. I'm like, no, we're not. But you know, when I grew up, growing up, what they embedded in art is a female. This is my family. I don't know if it's on everyone Mexican culture, but it was, my grandmother had me in the kitchen all the time, cooking, doing dishes, cleaning the house. So our role was, I'll never forget when my dad had said, I remember asking, like, Dad, can I go outside and help you? Because they're outside. My brothers are playing and throwing the leaves. And, my brothers hated going doing yard work. But I didn't mind doing the yard work. I would ask my dad, can I go do yard work with you? No, you guys stay inside with your mom. Help your mom clean. We have to get lunch ready so we can eat lunch. And we were in the household. And when I met Fendi, he asked me, so the Latin women, are y'all just staying in the kitchen and cooking? Like, is that, so that, he thought that's what I did. Oh, he had it wrong when he asked me that. He's like, are you going to make breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me now that we're together? Who? Who's going to make you breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
And go to work and take care of your child? Like, what the fuck is
what
going
do
on
you mean?
here?
He's like, and then he's like, that's what he thought. He saw that. And he's like, no, I just thought that's what Mexican women do. They stay in the kitchen.
I've seen that too. Like, it was coming, so I went to a friend's birthday, and her friend was in the kitchen. It's your birthday. It's your party, but she never left the kitchen. Yeah. Like, she was in there, and then the guy was making her come in. It's like, those Latino women, I'm telling this is what I love. They're going to be in the kitchen. Like, he was saying that probably thinking it was a compliment, but I'm sitting here looking like, this is her birthday. Yeah. She's supposed to be celebrating and having fun and being catered to, not doing the catering. But in her mind, she can't be a good person and enjoy her birthday if she's not catering and running herself into the ground. Can't sit down, can't talk, or can't do anything.
Yep, that's all it is. And I'm like, what do you mean you're hungry? You hungry? You can eat. If you're hungry, I'll make you something. But don't expect it from me. That's what I hate. Don't expect shit from me. I'll do what I'm going to do because I want to do it for you. Like, that's what I told him. I was like, don't tell me to go in there. Like, he does it. He's like, señora. And he loves that word. I'm like, don't say señora. You don't understand the meaning of señora. And, even my dad and my mom love him. Yeah. And they can play with him. He plays around with my mom. Even now on the phone, I can call and my mom's like, put me on speakerphone. Is Fendi around you? I'm like, yeah, she put me on speakerphone. So put me on speakerphone. She's like, ooh, don't I have some cheese met for you, mija? And he's like, oh, Sylvie. Oh, Sylvie, what cheese moza do you have, Sylvie? And, they get along and they laugh about that a lot. But when he thought from meeting me for the first time, this is what he said. He goes, oh, I like, there's a Spanish show that used to play on Telemundo all the time. My grandpa used to watch it. Something a la gente. And that was, he used that on me when he met me. He goes, oh, I watched the gente on it. I'm like, I don't, my grandpa does.
Like, you did not win no points with me.
That's an old man show, but okay, you watch it. And he left, he's like, I didn't know how it was to try. He goes, I'm attracted to Hispanic women because I think they're just beautiful people. But he still, one thing with my black hair. Me coloring it is like a huge thing for him. Yeah. Because he's like, no, Latin women have black hair and beautiful hair because I don't want you to color it, don't do that. So it's like all these things. I mean, what can we really do to change anything? But I think in everyone's household is how we can change it, how we can change our kid. But it's so fucking frustrating.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me I'm not who I am because I don't speak the language, or if I'm not the color. Like, honestly, the color part is still...
It's so huge. After I was sitting here thinking about it, I used to always tell my mom she's racist against her own kind. She's light-skinned, and so me being a dark-skinned, I never really was in position to see the bad part that light-skinned people deal with. And so she did not like, even Bailey, I don't know, she used to tan in the sun trying to be my color for some reason.
I remember she said that one time. She goes, I want to look pretty like my mom. I want my mom's color. I'm like, you're right. Your mama does have a beautiful color.
My mom does not like light-skinned people. That's why her husband is chocolate as fuck. Their man is black. And so she just does not like light-skinned because of the way she was treated. You know, she was the one that was getting bullied and getting picked on because she was the light-skinned girl. So you had the dark-skinned sisters that was kicking her down out of envy and jealousy. You know what I'm saying? So it goes both ways. Like, we just really need to learn how to love each other and support each other because we're dealing with shit. And don't say that you're for your black race if you're sitting here judging. It's one thing to have a preference, but to kick down and make to belittle someone and not support them because they're not of your preference is a different story. Yeah. And that's where I think things is getting mixed up. It's like you thinking you're choosing a preference when really you're belittling and kicking down and making someone feel like they're beneath you because they're not of your preference. Like, you can't help what you're attracted to, but at the same time, I think our attractions have been jaded too by what has been planted in the head.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right on that because, man, we go on and on. This could be like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5.
Like, it's an ongoing thing.
And I'm sure other mixed race, no matter what, if you're white and black married, Mexican and black married, Asian and white,
regardless.
Any race. You know, I'm going to say this before because I know we're probably going over, is that the reason we moved to this city was to get my son out of that.
To be more diverse.
Because he was more in school, and that school that he went to in elementary school, the teacher was talking about yellow people. And because yellow people, Asians are known as yellow people. So everyone started calling my son yellow people. Now he's Asian because his Asian part, you know, Ethan's Asian. He's the only Asian kid in the school. And then it's like, he's an Asian. He's yellow boy. He's a yellow boy. And he hurt his feeling. Mom, they came home, they called me egg roll. Mom, they called me chicken, sweet and sour chicken. Mom, they called me this and they called me that. Or, Mom, they don't want to be my friends because they said that I'm not this enough. Even up to high school. But whenever we moved over here, it was in junior high. Girls would date him, but they dated him because of the fab. And that's one thing he questioned himself. When he would date, girls would come up to him. He would ask them, are you dating because you like me or are you dating because of a fab? And some girls would be like, well, you're Asian, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm not dealing with you. He's like, nothing's wrong with me being Asian. Nothing's wrong with me being Mexican. But don't pick one side. Like, I'm not Asian. I'm my own individual person. Yeah. But to move to this town was to get him out of that because he was so depressed as a little kid by being picked on a bean. By being, again, no side has, he said, Mom, no side has claimed me. He's like, but I'm going to do what you tell me. I'm not going to let anyone pick me who I am. I'll make my own self. I'm my own individual.
That's sad.
So, yeah.
That it has to be that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's so frustrating.
But, you know, what other people, who else has gone through this? I mean, there's a lot of people who've gone through stuff like this. It was just it was on my shoulders. That's when I came to you and I'm like, I think
it's colorism within every community except for, no offense, white people. I mean, they tend to get darker. I don't see, because they're not diverse like us. They're just white. They don't have as many different shades for there to be colorism. Yeah. Every culture, from Indians to Asians, there's black, like white people, no offense, I'm just speaking facts, are the only ones that doesn't have a shade line. Every other culture do. I've talked to my Indian clients that dealt with the same thing, because you got some that are just as dark as me and as light as you with green eyes, but that is in every other culture except for white people. Yeah. They're just one shade.
Asians the same way. Even the country that ain't offense from, He's like, they're all natives. You can tell who are natives. You can tell who are Chinese, Indonesians, because the natives are darker. The Chinese, Indonesians are lighter. He's like, but you know why that is? Because the natives, they don't have a lot of money, so they work in the sun. He goes, and the Chinese, they come from money, so they don't work in the sun. Yeah. I'm like, well, I beg to differ that. I go, I see some very rich native Indonesians who have tons of money, who owns, built so much. He goes, yeah. He goes, but that's how but that's, again, that's what they were taught back then. Because that's how they were taught to differentiate people in his country. Yeah. So it's
even in my last relationship, and that our circle of friends were so different. Yeah. Like my circle of friends is a melting pot, and I guess it has something to do with the fact that I just felt like I was never really fully embraced by my own people. So it just kind of forced me to seek out and connect with other people outside of my race. But when I got with him, he's this guy from Chicago. His whole circle of friends were black. They're black, and they're so proud of, you know, just being black and being in their culture. And then he get with me. Every time we'll go with a friend, it's never a black person. I started having these thoughts in my head, like, am I not black enough? Am I not being true to my culture? Here I am, I'm with this guy. And I was so thankful to be with a black man, because I love a black man and wanted to be with a black man. But before me and him got in a relationship, I was only, like I said, attracting other cultures. And so I've been at that with him. Even though I was with a black man, I still question myself. He never made me question myself. He never spoke on any colors of my friends, never cracked a joke, never. He's such a mature man. And so, but just within my own head, my own thoughts of struggling to accept me. If I'm being told I'm not black enough, but then being single most of my life and not feeling attractive enough, it just such a struggle line of always questioning myself. And I think you remember I was like I'm going through something right now. I just did not feel, I can't even explain it. And I think, was it during the pandemic? Because me and him became a pandemic couple. Yeah. And it was
right before the a little bit before the pandemic. Well, this last one that y'all became a pandemic couple because of the pandemic. We're talking about the last one, right? Yeah.
And so I was just like, went through something real bad. All of my friends stopped talking to me, and I was just like, what is wrong with me? Am I not black enough? Because it was not all my friends, all my black friends stopped talking to me. Or if I wanted to hang out with a black homegirl, I would have to drag y'all. I had to hit y'all up. You never hit me up. It's like the only time we connected was because I hit you up. But the only friends that stayed true was of different race. And so it was just like making me question my own self. Am I this white girl? Am I not being true to my culture? Am I, it's like I still kind of struggle with, I'm getting better because I'm really getting to a point in my life where I don't give a fuck. And attracting a man like him that is so into his culture but didn't ever make me feel like I wasn't black enough, didn't make me feel like I wasn't pretty enough or not good enough. I'm almost getting emotional, but he never made me feel like that, and it's like when you get that from your family, you get it from your loved ones, you get it from your friends, it's just like I'm always walking around questioning myself. Am I good enough? What am I beneath everybody? And that's probably why I go over and beyond and try not to get so connected with life emotionally and be so fixated on career, because the emotional part of life hurts too much. I always feel like I'm trying to prove myself to somebody, even sometimes career-wise, but at least I get accepted there quicker than feeling like I'm not pretty enough or not good enough for my black people. Because y'all do not fucking embrace me, but y'all want me to embrace y'all. And that is the most frustrating thing. You get what you put out. Like, show me the love that you want me to show y'all, especially you men. But I'm glad that I had a man. I keep saying God, but had a man that poured into me regardless, and accepted my circle and accepted me for who I was, and never, ever, ever even cracked a joke about how I lived my life.
And it's we all try to get that acceptance. Like, I want to be more within the Hispanic community, but in my mind, I'm thinking I have to be able to speak Spanish in order to have that defense. So they speak Spanish, I can be like, oh, let me get into it too.
Yeah, it makes you uncomfortable.
So even like I want to get in with even being business wise, like with my business doing this, I want to hit different culture. Like I want to hit the Hispanic culture. I think Latin women are we're good. We're good women. Like we work hard. We're not only in their kitchen to cook, which we can take care of family. We can make a business. We can do a lot of things. And I feel like if I want to get in, I've thought about that. It's like, in order to be accepted from my own race, not consider the family, just within the race, I'm going to have to learn how to speak Spanish. Mm-hmm. And then I blame myself for my son going through what he's going through because I don't speak Spanish. So whenever he had to learn Spanish, you know, they're like, oh, you're not real Mexican, but isn't your mom Mexican? Like, they would question him, and I'm like, it's my fault. He's going through that because I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
So it's like a battle within yourself because of how everything is.
Yeah. Like, I don't like going to predominantly black clubs because of how I'm treated when I'm there. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know all the music. I don't listen to trap music mm-hmm. and shit like that, and then it'd be something like that. And so if I was treated different, I feel so uncomfortable. Like, I want to go to an all-black club and have fun. If it's not an older, mature crowd, like a club I don't even like going to no more, Vanetti's. Hell, I've been going there since it was Stone Trail when I first moved here. But it's like with my peers, people who are closer to my age, I feel so uncomfortable because I'm not the light-skinned girl. Even though I'm dark-skinned, I don't have the big ass and the big hips, the big voluptuous titties to get that type of attention. Mm-hmm. And I just feel so invisible. I feel invisible, and then I feel like I have to be fake and pretend like I know this hip-hop song. I listen to rap, but I don't listen to I don't listen to a lot of the stuff that they be playing, and so it's just easier for me to be in a mixed club. I feel more comfortable. I show up and I shine more there because I just feel so invisible and overlooked and not valued in an all-black setting. Yeah. And that's sad. I shouldn't feel like that when I'm around my own people, but that's how my own people have made me feel.
Yeah. It's that's what makes it ticks me off. I'm like, why are you going to be like that? Like, I'm a nice person. But you know what? Like you said, you get to a point where you just don't. You don't care no more, but there's a little part of me who does care.
Because you long to be with your people.
Yeah, because if I don't care, then I feel like I'm putting my culture in the back.
Right.
But I'm not. Like, I even got asked, I forget that you're Hispanic because you're a lot of an Asian. Like, I have to come over. You've said that to me.
Said it too.
You're not the only person who has said it. But I'm like, okay, but my husband is Asian. He eats Asian food. I had to learn how to make that kind of food. But he also enjoys Mexican food. There's time when he's like, man, babe, can you just please make some of those enchiladas? Can you please? And I'll make it for him. Can you please make some of that the caldo, pozole. Can you please make their tamales? He'll sit there and he knows how to make tamales. No. He's rolled them up in his hand and rolled them and cooked them. He knows how to do all that.
Yeah.
So just because I married someone out of my race doesn't mean that I gave my race up. I just married the person. I didn't marry him because of his race. Right. I didn't say, oh, are you Chinese? Okay, I'll marry you. Yeah. So, like, again, we can go on and on. So let's go to the card part because we can go on and on and on.
Oh, strippers. That was heavy. We both teared up a little bit on this episode right here. But to get it on a lighter note, it is time for our striptease segment. And you already know we support other podcasts that have inspired us to do our thing. And the cards that we use is from tonight's Conversations podcast. We're almost finished with this deck. Yeah. It's getting thinner and thinner. It's the 60-69 After Dark question. And how this works is you have to answer. We pull 3 cards. You have to answer the questions. If any one of us don't want to answer, you have to remove an article on your body. And so that is that. The questions gets a little risque.
That's why you'll find them on Patreon.
Yeah, some of them. We'll share some of the deets with you.
Oh, I got too many. Was that one that's been answered already?
I feel like it has.
That one has 2. We did that one last time.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you first. I feel like you always ask me first. Which one do I want to do? Any, mini, miny, moe. Okay.
I'm ready for this. Okay. What's your favorite physical feature on the opposite sex and why?
Oh my gosh. That is so hard when I love so much about a man's body. It used to be abs, but what I have noticed is if I'm giving a massage to a man on his back and I see his broad, muscular shoulders and that arm, like drip, drip with that.
So you made me ink.
Yes, I like pink. It's like, it's so attractive. And I like a pretty smile and nice lips.
Mm-hmm.
I like a pretty smile and nice lips. I'm not a grill type of girl. If you do have a grill, I want a grill, but I want it for a show, like in and out. But if you got a grill, I like a pretty smile and some nice lips.
Yeah. I like the lips.
Yeah.
The lips, I like the lips and a pretty smile. But the one thing that I love on men are thighs.
I knew it was gonna be something about the legs with
thighs.
You.
I love the muscular thighs and how they just like when I look. I mean, I look, my husband look, but when I see a man who's like, I'm like, man, I love the thighs. I'm like, because I look at thighs, I'm like, man, they can hold me in, and we can do like walk, we can run. But
I'm like, what all are you doing in a bit?
But thighs, I love thighs on a man. That just shows that they're stable.
Yeah. See, I like the broad, muscular shoulders. It's just like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Especially if you got a lot of height.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Look, we got excited. Simmer down. How would you feel about being tied up?
Okay, yes.
She got excited. Okay, yes.
Yes.
I've been waiting on this one.
I don't mind it. I've been handcuffed. That's fun. But the tied up part, I want to do the tied up with BDSM tied up.
Me too.
Oh, and the swing, I want to, like, put me in a red room. 50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey, girl. We all wanted a Christian Grey, didn't we? I was like, I want to try all of this. I'm here. What do I need to do?
Yes. Yeah, so tying up, yes.
Because I like a little bit of aggression in the bedroom. I like dominance.
Yeah.
And sometimes I want to be the dominant one, but I feel like I'm such an alpha female already that I love a dominant man. And you'll get the biggest ones that are the gentle teddy bear in the bedroom. Like, you're this tall giant and you're so gentle, but sometimes sling my ass around, slap me, hold me up, shake me, and just be like, come here, bitch.
From the chest.
From the chest, you know. Get over here.
I think it's a vulnerability.
Don't you move. And you can't do anything. I wonder, I haven't been tied up. I have tied up a guy before, but I have never been tied up. So that would be something else to where I can't stop you from doing nothing. I have to feel everything. I'm not able to fight the urge.
Exactly. I think that's what part I want, because, you know, even when like we're having orgasms, we kind of like stop, like, wait. Let me catch my breath.
Right.
When you're doing this, you're just like, you can like your whole body just like, even if I gotta cry.
That is what 50 Shades of Grey did. It was like you could hear how she wasn't able to. He wasn't like, no, you're gonna feel all this. He wasn't able to fight it.
Yeah, and I know that was a book and a movie, but that's what. I think it's real when we just want to let go with no kind of prejudice, no kind of, you're a mama, you can't act like this, you're a girl, you can't act like nothing like slutty or anything like that. It's just that whole part of doing that, that's what makes me excited, being the tied up in the BDM in this part.
Yeah, if I have it happen, girl, I'll share my story.
I'm sure you will. I'll be like, wait.
I asked the last
Put do not disturb on the phone, because we're going to listen to the story. Okay, what is your bedroom name and alter ego? Excuse me.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think I have one.
I don't have any of that.
Becky.
I don't have a look at Becky. Becky with the good hair. Koya. I don't know. I've never, and the alter ego, I don't think I have an alter ego in the bedroom either. I just be me and
I have no alter
I think
ego
I don't need an alter
bedroom.
ego in the bedroom. I think Nicoya,
it's like pretending. Like,
yeah,
you're
I
gonna
think
get
Nicoya showing up is good enough.
Yeah.
Right. I don't have to gas myself up, no gaslighting, have to put on no alter ego as if I'm finna perform.
Yeah.
I just show up for me, and I think that's good enough.
I think that more falls, I wonder if that falls more into the dominatrix kind of type of, like, what's your alter ego? Because, you know, sometimes that's a little
now, when I finally do a dominant, when I ever get a client,
you see how she looked at your client
for this dominatrix thing that I have put out there that I want to do, I need to do it before I'm exclusive in a relationship because it's going to be cut off. But it's just like, yeah, I don't think I need that. But I have to come up with one for when I become a dominatrix. Yeah. It's going to happen, you guys.
Okay, so this is the last question. How long do you prefer sex to last and why?
As long as it can last. I really can have sex. I would like for sex to go on and on and on and on. Yeah. I know that's crazy, but that's like, I want it to be an adventure. Like the foreplay, and then you screw it. Like I said, I want you to screw me nut, then come back to this, and then come back to, I want it to be long. Yeah. I would say, like, so I used to have a cuddy buddy when I stayed in the colony. Ooh, we used to have sex till like 3-something in the morning. It would go on for hours. I loved it because it was just like a roller coaster ride. It'd be like calm, then it'd be intense, then it'd be this. You know, if it's a really like you into each other, I think it should be about 2 hours.
Yeah. 2 hours. I don't know how, okay, this is why I would say when you say sex, is I would want don't get it wrong, when I say the day or the weekend, not having sex at it all the time, but whenever you can't get your hands off of each other. Yeah. If I'm in the kitchen cooking, the hands are on me, kissing it, but it was like that the whole day, I want that. It doesn't have to necessarily mean penetration all the time. Right. It's the foreplay.
Yeah, the everything.
Sitting, if he was sitting down,
no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're talking about in the bedroom. Yeah. Let me read this question again.
It says sex, but isn't that what sex means? Foreplay. We can't do that because if guys say, if guys hear that foreplay is not sex, then they're gonna.
No, but foreplay is sex, but maybe like more of the hands-on foreplay in the bedroom, like when the intercourse is now starting and the clothes are off. That doesn't count because you could do that in front of your kids.
No, I don't know what I want to do.
Well, hell, if he touch on you, I guess not. Excuse me, you may be right.
Okay, and we're talking about the nitty and gritty.
Like once you get to the bedroom, what's the nitty and gritty?
I think about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, I'm good.
Oh, okay. Because that's because you did all the foreplay before the bedroom. Yeah. Like what is going on? Oh no, yeah.
But I like it over, like when it's over and like you're done, and then you take a little nappy nap, and then you get on it again.
The rollover is the best thing.
That is. Morning is the best thing. Both of us are like.
The rollover. Okay. Well, you guys, that has been a nut. My bad. Got distracted over here. Got a little bit distracted for a second.
Look at that. Using her words.
Me and my wordplay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to stay tuned. You got to stay tuned to every episode. That's when we'll be making the announcement when we got our Patreon live with the real nitty and gritty stuff. Please like, share, comment. This help us be seen more. This help us keep showing up for you. If you look at us on YouTube, like and please comment, share the content, help put your girls out there a little bit more. And we want your feedback.
Yes, feedback is what we need.
Yes, and talk to us, relate to us. Let us know what it is that we're saying or what you would like to hear a little bit more of so that we can make sure that we're providing y'all with quality content. We're not here just to make you laugh. We also want to give you quality stuff that, you can think about that helps you in some kind of way in life. We ain't got to figure it out, but we figuring it out. We can figure it all out together. So we need your help, and we value it. We love you, strippers.